illegal immigration into this country. President Trump has really put
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here and we are watching Mar-a-Lago.
I don't care what anybody says. We need help, and that means
we are getting commentary.
On the Mexican border side, the Canadian border side, we need.
Trump does speak with Canada-Mexico tariff threat.
Assist us in this very important project,
and we're going to have the kind of America we've always wanted. And we deserve.
On the BRICS
and so here it is, and I'm
Mark
just
Meredith was
want you to
about,
watch it.
The threat to not abandon the US dollar. What does that mean for ordinary consumers, if anything?
Today, nothing. The BRICS are Brazil and Russia and India and China, and they're trying to create their own economic unit. And part of that is not to have to rely on the U.S. dollar. There are all kinds of global implications to that. They've been talking about creating their own currency. It's very difficult. And more important, the world economy basically runs on the dollar. So even if they were to create something on their own, it'd be very difficult to implement outside of their own unit. We don't think that happens anytime soon.
Dominic, I feel so much smarter having listened to you for the last 4 minutes. Thank you so much for being here, Dominic Tavella. All right, Anita.
All right, Jonathan. Well, Russia says its military ties with North Korea are expanding as its head of defense meets with North Korea's Kim Jong-un this weekend. What this means for North Korea's role in Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and how could China get involved? That's next.
Introducing new Eroxon Gel, the first FDA-cleared ED treatment available without a prescription. Eroxon Gel is clinically proven to work within 10 minutes, so you and your partner can experience the heights of intimacy. New Eroxon ED Treatment Gel.
When we started feeding Bogey, the farmer's dog, he lost so much weight. Pre-portioned packs makes it really easy to keep him lean and healthy.
In the morning, he flies up the stairs and hops up on my bed. In the past, he would not.
There are commercials and there are commercials
I'm Richard
for
Carr, and I love my hose.
Fox
my hose
News, but Fox News is one of the best news to ever broadcast news anywhere.
Anti-leak.
So I want you to hear it. I want you to experience Fox News and understand that it is to be able to get an understanding of what's going on. I mean, think about it. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the entire Democratic Association administration has been completely blown away by the choice of the people wholeheartedly. And now Donald Trump, his administration, the Senate is Republican, the House of Representatives is all Republican. I mean, you got to understand that Democrats are spewing venom if they could, and anger is to the top of their brain cells. And not getting it, I'm sure. They don't really understand what's happening. And it's a darn shame, too, because they are really, they're out of their league with what's going on. It's not fair to them to be in this horrible situation. And I want you to be able to be in tune with the reality of all of this by understanding that no Democrat is in danger, no Libertarian is in danger, no anybody is in danger, but everybody is going to be free from the burden of the Democratic Party, which I don't understand how anybody could think that they are not burdened by this Democratic Party. It's been insane. The whole time that the Democrats have been in lead. And I have friends that disavow their a relationship with me because they think
it's more than just a word.
That the Democrats are all,
and here at Echelon,
you know, they're the best. What am I, out of my mind? That's what they tell me. But I knew better the entire time. But I don't know why they didn't, and why 3/4 of the nation decided that
has never been closer.
They wanted a Republican democracy. See, what the Democrats would have you believe is that if Trump got in office, that all democracy would be out the window. But the Republicans are a republic democracy. which means they are for you, the individual, and they recognize you, they appreciate you, they realize they're in government to help you. As far as I can see, the Democrats do nothing but help themselves and pretend they're doing for you. That's sad. But we're going to have lots of changes coming in as long as
Can you hear me?
Sure can.
stupid stuff doesn't happen by Joe Biden himself as a last-ditch effort to save the Democrats. Because it's stupid. We need to stop this. Anybody who's in charge or in power to be able to stop the Democrats from acting out in these ways without violating any laws, but doing what we have to do in order to protect our new administration coming into office, we need to do. It's absolutely necessary.
President Biden heads back to Washington later today.
Here we go.
After spending the Thanksgiving holiday in Massachusetts. During the trip, the president did pledge to work with the FBI on the recent threats against President-elect Trump's cabinet picks and lawmakers from both parties. Lucas Tomlinson is live in Nantucket with more on this. Hi, Lucas.
Hi, Anita. That's right. After President Biden, the first family enjoyed lunch here just a few blocks behind me while walking through the streets, doing a little window shopping. The president answered a question about these recent bomb threats targeting lawmakers as well as the incoming Trump cabinet.
Any reaction to the bomb threats and swatting attempts, Mr. President, this week? The bomb threats against lawmakers and the swatting attempts against cabinet officials?
The Bidens have been coming here to Nantucket for nearly 50 years, the First Lady said. After lunch here in town and taking the stroll, as you can see here, when Biden then spoke about the recent ceasefire agreement between Hezbollah, it's notable the deal leaves when he leaves office, and the deal with Hamas in Gaza appears far off. Today, there's a new video, Anita, showing 19-year-old American-Israeli citizen Idan Alexander, a soldier in Israel's Golani Brigade, calling on President-elect Trump to help free the hostages and not repeat the mistakes Biden has made. Now, yesterday, after doing a little window shopping, some eyebrows were raised when Biden walked out of this bookstore. There it is, holding a copy of The 100 Years' War on Palestine, a history of settler colonial conquest and resistance by Columbia University Professor Emeritus Rashid Khalidi, who's a former PLO spokesman when the group was still designated a terrorist organization here by the U.S. government. And the Bidens also attended the annual tree lighting ceremony here in town last night. There were no signs of any of the anti-Israel protesters who followed President Biden to the island last year. Those were led by the son of one of Nantucket's most famous authors. As you mentioned, President Biden will be leaving early this year. Typically, the first family stays until Sunday. He's leaving tonight to return to the White House to mark World AIDS Day tomorrow, and then he takes another trip, this time to Africa. He's visiting the nation of Angola.
Yeah, looks like he'll have some time to get into that book, Lucas. Thank you so much for that live report, Lucas Tomlinson, for us. Long trip. Jonathan?
Anita, thank you. Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine will mark its third year in February. And today, a possible turning point. For the first time, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is indicating he may be open to some sort of land for peace deal to finally end the fighting. But he wants something first, NATO membership. And remember, when Vladimir Putin first invaded Ukraine 3 years ago, he said one of his main points was that Ukraine should never be allowed to join NATO. Zelensky said in the wake of that invasion, he would never give up 1 inch of Ukrainian territory. Well, now we apparently have a deal, perhaps, which would require both men to reverse those positions. Madeline Rivera has the latest.
We have all these people,
Ukrainian
folks,
President
that are
Volodymyr
just
Zelensky has been very
coming
clear
up
in the
against
past. Ukraine will not
everything
cede
that
any
Trump
territory to
has
Russia.
been trying
On Friday,
to
though, while
make
speaking with
our
Sky News,
bidding
Zelensky suggested
in
a path
the
forward
world
to what he
market
calls
a fair and balanced thing. But the problem is that we have Joe Biden, who is doing everything in his power to make the Ukrainian leader look like he is rightfully attacking Russia when probably no one that is elected for Donald Trump wants him there, wants him to be attacking or bombing. Trump definitely doesn't want all these bombs and lives to be destroyed because of Joe Biden's decisions. Because
why? Because
at this point, we can fix this, but we want Trump in office. We want him there so he can fix this and stop all this craziness that's going on and insanity politically, economically, socially, police-wise. We need to be able to have a governed society so we're not going crazy wondering what's going to come next. We need a fixed world, and we need it right here, starting with the United States of America. We are patriots. We want to be respected. We want to have what is rightfully ours to have. And then instead what happens here is you have Joe Biden giving away the entire house, the entire store to whoever he wants to, these immigrants that are coming across the border. He just, here it is, guys, take everything you want, $20,000 a month, have a car, have a phone, have insurance, have this, have that, have a hotel, put our veterans out on the street, whatever. Biden does not represent my viewpoint on what is good for America. It is no joke, but we have to fix it. And whoever's in power that sees my video, they can do something about it. I implore you, I seriously implore you to try to do something about it. I really want your help, and you can do that by sending an email to me at the address listed on your screen in front of you right now, charles.nolan1@gmail.com. That's charles.nolan1@gmail.com. I want you there. I want you to visit. I want you to know that you can make a difference. This is not a joke. You are an important person in our society. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Libertarian, whatever you are, Republican or otherwise, you need to unite together now so we can have a better country to live in and a safer world to live in. Do you want that? Or would you rather all these gangs come in from all over the world and try and kill our children with fentanyl and the like? And guns and everything. They just don't give a damn. And I'll be quite frank and honest with you. I am a licensed minister. And I am known as Minister Charles Nolan, and I want you to understand that I am doing this because I have a compassion for our entire world, our entire country, and I want us to make the right decisions to get things done now. We can do it. All we need is the blessing from you instead of, oh, no, oh my God, Trump. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, that's complete BS. And you don't need to be like that. We need to save our country, unite our country in a bigger way. And if you wait and patiently wait and get through this together with us, together, we will listen, we will learn, we will change, and we will make better for everyone. So help me God, this is what Trump and his administration and the people that he's choosing are all about. They're not about making the world a harsher, more destructive place like Biden did. And I don't know how you people that elected Biden and Kamala Harris even thought for a second that they were going to help us any further. Look at what they did with $1.5 billion. Wasted it. You saw Morgan & Morgan, I'm probably pretty sure you did, saying, I will never invest in her again, and I hope she never runs ever again.
So that's about
I hope John Morgan turns around and says, you know what, I see what the Republicans are doing for the people, and Morgan & Morgan swears that they are for the people, so now the people have spoken. Morgan & Morgan should become, John Morgan, a Republican, and join us in helping the world come together and save the world, save the economy, save the borders, and protect everything and make things a better place for all people to live. all people.
Given that President Trump seemed
And
to
that's
get
really
along,
what I
as
want
he
you to
often
learn,
says with
and that's
Kim
extremely
Jong-un,
important
how
to
might
me.
President Trump
So
be able to
I hope
influence
that
the
you'll
situation?
visit my
I
website
think that,
out there on the
President
internet
Trump in his first
known
term was
as
able to talk to Kim Jong-un, but that's a very different
RolandWithNolan.com
time
or
than today, because now we are seeing the hardening of that unholy alliance, and
Nolan.com,
that's not only North
RolandWithNolan.com,
Korea
or
and China and Russia, but it's also
CharlesNolan.com.
Iran. And we are
I'm
seeing
Minister
some
Charles
very
Nolan. I
disturbing
love you, my brothers and
developments as they
sisters. Let's
coordinate
watch
their
a little
actions.
more of
So
the
what was
Fox
possible,
News
for instance, in
and see what they have to
2017,
say
18, and 19,
and keep
I
our
don't think it's
ears
possible
tuned
in
to what they're doing.
2025.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll see what takes place there. I want to pivot now, if we can, to China. Originally, President-elect Trump was talking about imposing a 60% or more tariff on Chinese goods over the fentanyl that flowing from China into our country. Now it seems like he's bringing that number down to around 10%. China, of course, not happy about this. Are you expecting to see 4 years of a trade war here?
Well, China's been waging a trade war against the United States for decades. And one of the important things is that President Trump has actually decided in his first term to oppose it. And we're going to see this again. And so I'm not sure that the 10% tariff on Chinese goods is going to be the only thing. China right now, it's huffing and puffing about this. But remember, they are a trade surplus country with regard to the U.S. Through September, their merchandise trade surplus was $217.5 billion. And, trade surplus countries don't have leverage in a trade war. And President Trump will be able to use our deficit position to get what we want from China. And if we don't, then I think he's going to just impose even higher tariffs.
Wow. And what does that do to the price of goods coming into the U.S.? I mean, people are worried about that.
In the first round of President Trump's tariffs in 2018, China absorbed somewhere between 75 to 81% of the cost of those tariffs. So the American consumer did not feel it at all. China today has even greater incentive to absorb Trump's tariffs than it did in 2018. And by the way, tariffs are dynamic, and they're not just a two-country affair. So they rearrange trade, which means if we don't buy stuff from China, we'll buy it from someplace else. And the American consumer is not going to feel this, at least maybe not beyond 2 months.
All right. Well, I guess that's a little piece of good news right there. Gordon Chang, thank you so much for joining us today. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Anita.
Jonathan.
Great conversation, Anita. A lot for incoming President Trump to deal with. Plus, tensions are also rising in two parts of the Middle East. Cracks are emerging already in the early ceasefire days between Israel and Hezbollah, while in Syria, rebels are claiming control of most of the country's second largest city. More on that and what it could mean next.
Pause for the facts. Classic first-timers. They don't know that nearly half of all used cars have been in an accident. But Carfax shows how accidents impact price, so they don't have to overpay. Unpause.
Make sure you get your Carfax and take care of your car, because really, you do want your Carfax. I love Carfax. I used it for my car, and I learned a lot about it that the dealer didn't tell me. Oh my God. You know how that works sometimes? Anyway, thank you folks for tuning in today and getting a little update from my perspective of how things are going on and what you should do. You should just work together with the rest of the country. The Republicans aren't like the Democrats say. They're not trying to kill democracy. They're trying to enhance it for the individual. That's what the Republican democracy does. Not the Democratic democracy, which is basically controlling everybody. In that way, they accuse the Republicans of doing, and that is they take everything. They take everything as a Democrat, and they take it all from us. We need to support the Republicans because they're going to support you and me. And that's really what's going to happen. God bless you, my friends and family. Thank you. I love you all out there, and I hope to God that we can build some better programs. Please take the time to email me at charles.nolan1@gmail.com and let me know what you think and what you would like to see on the program. Maybe you'd like to be a guest on my program and speak your mind. I would love to have you. So don't be shy, because we make the difference by talking together and working things out, not by domineering, controlling, and locking opposing forces up. That's not the way you should be doing things. I wouldn't control you like that. Don't you control me like that, and do not think that the Democrats were right, because they weren't. On that note, my dearest friends, and I mean dearest friends, I wish you the best of the best of the best, and I will see you again in the not too distant future. But until then, I say to you, God bless you, and have a happy holiday.